instead of doing a really quick superficial overview, I've chosen just to focus on the housing component. That word Hispanic has really profound meaning. It means something else in a place like Southern California or Texas, but it doesn't have the same connotations in a place like Atlanta, where new movement of Latinx populations are so new still to them that the evolution of what that language is and how people identify isn't as evolved as here yet. More than half of the growth of the US population since 2000 is Latinx background, and that includes both foreign-born and the second and third generations, the children of those migrants. When we look at the growth of Mexican origin populations in the United States, we see here that there's a large spike here in the 1990s and leading up to 2000, this sort of key year here. There's a lot of growth here in the South. And the reason this matters is because where people live because place has such an important component to what we do as planners. I always see planning as place-based policy, and that's what separates planners from other people doing other types of urban policy that may not necessarily have a connection to a specific geographic region or scale. How I defined suburb was looking at this large influx of Mexican migration, anything that was having a triple or quadruple growth. So this brought me to Gwinnett County, a place I had not been to, but every statistic kept pointing to Gwinnett as a place that fit all of my criteria as a triple or quadruple growing area. And all this growth was after the Olympics. And like I said earlier, there wasn't an urban Mexican migrant enclave there, not like in the Southwest. But what was interesting here is that this area of maybe 75,000 people in 1990 is now nearly 1 million people, mostly Mexican, Korean, and Indian. Some of the other housing ordinances that really mattered here were these anti-immigrant housing ordinances. So these were county-wide. These dealt with everything from overcrowding and occupancy. This idea of camas calientes, this was mostly used previously for prostitution, these turnover, one night, a few hour things. This idea of interior spaces and the ways Latino urbanism kind of played out here became really important. We have places here like in Linwood, California near LAX called Plaza Mexico. A lot of research has been done on that. What we haven't really looked at is how sort of the design changes and how that really matters for a population that is constantly persecuted. Right now, this narrative is Mexican immigrants and Central Americans, right, are abusers of systems, right, are users. But the idea of Mexicans as revitalizers for small rural and suburban towns that have a lot of abandonment. The only reasons Gwinnett is as large as it is and functioning as a county is because all these people have moved in.